Right now, I am on Franklin and 4th Ave. The reason why this area is so significant to me is because whenever I was a child, I lived right down here on this street. The street has a lot of memories to me. This is before this building even existed. All that was here was just a library. But down here in this neighborhood, this is where my mom and I grew up. I guess one of the areas that we grew up, of the many places on the south side, because the thing about it is that my mom, she was a lot of people like to say that she was a drug dealer. She's just slaying drugs and everything like that, and we always had to keep moving from house to house. But the truth is, the matter of fact is, nah, my mom was an addict. She was addicted to fucking coke, and we always bounced from place to place because she can only get a voucher for a house for maybe 2 to 3 months at a time. But this is where we lived, right here, 3rd floor. So you see that window right there with the air condition? That used to be my sister's window. These 2 windows right here used to be the front living room window. And then I remember Jose living here. And one time we went out and got a whole wagon full of them old school red wagons used to pull around, full of meat. And we brought it all the way from the projects down here. Just a bunch of meat. Right here, we used to break into these houses because they were abandoned, this old thing, and we used to run around in there. And that used to be our playground because it used to be an abandoned house or abandoned complex for apartments. Then right here, down the street used to live Rocky. And this street right here was pivotal because when we were kids, we were always told to stop and look across both streets before you cross the walk. And this is what we learned as children, because we learned that if you didn't look left or right, you can get hit by a car and you can die. And that's how life was on the south side of Minneapolis. But this street right here on 15th Ave, the reason why this street is significant is because whenever I was a kid, me, my little brother, and my older brother Derek Cloud, we were heading this way. And we were heading to the Indian Center because, I don't know, they were giving out something so we can eat. So we're all running behind, and my older brother's on a bike with his best friend, Rocky. And they're just traveling ahead of us, and me and my little brother trying to keep up. My little brother's probably about 4 years old. I'm 6. My older brother's 10, and his buddy's about 10. And then exactly right here as we're crossing the street, boom, I see the guy get hit. Boom. And he was underneath that car, and he was drugged all the way down here. He was drugged for a whole block underneath of a car. And right when he got hit, instead of letting go of the car, he held on to underneath of it. And he got drugged all this way. And it's crazy because as a 6-year-old kid, seeing something like that is very traumatizing. But at the same time, we knew to look across the street before we crossed. And when this guy didn't, that just goes to shows the consequences of what happens when you don't look across the street. And he was drugged to about right here. I remember just before the light, or just before the turnoff, it was right here. Boom. It was a black car that drug him. And it drug him all the way. And then when it left him, it kept going. And it took a left. And that car was never seen again. And that was the first time I ever seen a hit and run. It was right here. Right on this street. I was 6 years old, going to the Indian Center. You know? Another memory down memory lane. As I'm sitting here walking the south side of Minneapolis, just going over the old places that I used to live. Try to make amends of the things that I have done wrong. And just trying to come to terms and trying to make amends of the things I did and try to make a better life for myself. That's the whole reason why I'm back here in Minneapolis. I come back here to deal with the demons that are left in my mind of the things that I've done. Good, bad, horrible, and just straight out appalling. But I will go back and I will show you the memories that I have lived, where they happened, how they happened, and try to give you the best timeline of when it happened in my life. This right here, this happened at exactly when Criss Cross's Jump was popular, because I remember for a fact walking down this street with fucking shoes backwards, fucking hoodie, my Jordan starting on backwards, Chicago Bulls starter backwards. You know what I mean? So that's what it reminds me of, this area. And believe it or not, this side was considered the ghetto back in 94, 93, 92. This was not a place you wanted to live. Nope. It was infested with vice lords, Latin kings,